Добрый день, Anatoly Ivanovich. Good morning, Anatoly Ivanovich, Mr. Gorshkov. We have the pleasure to welcome you for the web lunch. You are the head of the Russian trade representation for Belgium and Luxembourg. We have some questions very important for our members today. And the first will, could you tell us in a few words about the economic evolution of Belgium with Russia and Russia towards Belgium? And in a few words, the same between Luxembourg and Russia for the past year, 2019, but also for this particularly difficult period for the business in 2020.
Okay, thank you, Arkady, and hello, Oleg. Thank you for this opportunity to participate in your series of interviews on the economic relation between Russia, Belgium, and Luxembourg. First, I'd like to mention that our economic cooperation continued doing well through 2019. If we follow the statistics of the Federal Customs Service of Russia, turnover of goods between Russia and Belgium amounted to 9.2 billion US dollars in 2019, with a drop of almost 21% of the previous period. Russian exports amounted to $6.8 billion. This is minus almost 26%. Imports from Belgium amounted to $2.4 billion, almost the same, just minus 3% as to 2018. In terms of export, Russian supplies to Belgium mainly concerned mineral products. It is more than 40% of total Belgium imports of Russian goods. Raw diamonds and precious metals, 32% of our exports, and other metals, 15%. As our exports are highly concentrated in these three sectors, the unfavorable trends of 2019, I mean oil price fluctuations, stagnation of diamond and other precious stones market, trade wars between the USA and China, all that reached the Belgian market and had a negative impact on the Russian-Belgian turnover of goods. On the contrary, according to the Bank of Russia in 2019, the turnover of services with Belgium amounted to $1.2 billion with an upward trend of 21% as compared to the previous year, 2018. So as for Luxembourg, the trade between Russia and this country in the previous year was of the order of $240 million and decreased by 10%. Russian exports amount to almost $50 million, and it was more than 20% less than in 2018. But it's worth noting that a significant share of Russian exports is also mineral products. So about 75% to Luxembourg. But the turnover of services amounted almost to $1.5 billion. We are good partners in the field of energy. Belgian Fluxus and Russian Novatek accelerated their project of transshipping Russian liquefied natural gas from Yamal Peninsula in north of Russia to Asia and Pacific. We noticed with pleasure the completion at the end of 2019 of another tank at the Fluxus gas terminal in Zeebrugge, dedicated to this project. Another partnership to be mentioned is the contract between the Liège airport and the Russian air bridge cargo company that should facilitate the delivery of goods by the Russian cargo company from Asia to Europe and vice versa via this growing logistic hub of Liège. Russian seaports remained good clients of the seaports of Belgium in the last year. As far as we know, all Belgian ports welcome cooperation with Russia, as the Russian vessels contribute to their, greatly contribute to their turnover. Russian companies and research community have established a firm relationship with IMEC, the Inter-University Center for Microelectronics in Leuven. And we welcome the contacts of the Russian Innovation Center in Skolkovo and many other institutions in our country with IMEC. Also, we managed to organize a permanent innovation cooperation between Skolkovo Foundation and Lux Innovation Agency. Besides that, Luxembourg is a very active as investor in Russian economy. One of the latest projects is the multimodal logistics center Dry Port Ryazan, with the investment of an equivalent of 5 billion rubles. Okay, coming back in 2019, we kept developing the relationship between the regions of Russia and Belgium in Luxembourg. Governor Sergei Morozov of Ulyanovsk visited the research center of the Leuven University in March last year. The main objective of the mission was exchange of expertise in commercializing technologies and enhancing cooperation in creating technology valley in the region of Ulyanovsk. And with your direct involvement, we organized the visit of the Ryazan region delegation in October. The governor of Ryazan Oblast, Nikolai Lyubimov, presented the investment potential of the region to Belgian and Luxembourgish entrepreneurs in both industry and agriculture. The delegation visited Liège airport and met with representatives of many Belgian logistic companies. Now, a few words about the beginning of 2020 and this painful situation of the sanitary crisis. When affected by the pandemic of coronavirus, the global community came back to discussion of the prospects of globalization and its benefits, or an urgent need for deglobalization with a focus on internal resources, protection, and even partial closure of the markets. In this path of crisis, when the first reflex was to take protectionist steps to ensure that necessary materials and equipment remained inland, most countries quickly realized that cooperation was a better solution in protecting the population and fighting the infection. According to the data of the international organizations, In the first quarter of this year, the world trade decreased by more than 5%, more than 5%. Russia, as many other countries, was hit by the contraction of global trade linked to this crisis. In the first quarter of this year, the Russian trade turnover decreased by 9%, while overall Russian exports dropped by 15%, but we still expect that the decline over a year will be not so strong. We are encouraged by the fact that turnover of goods between Russia and Belgium was just slightly decreased by only 5% to the same period of 2019. And the trade between Russia and Luxembourg even grew by 14% compared to the same period of the previous year. So 63 million in the first quarter against 55 million the same quarter of 2019. Should we mention here that the Russian exports to Luxembourg sharply increased by 39% in the beginning of this year. We should analyze this situation, this good situation. Well, in the first weeks of the pandemic, the export of medical masks, respirators, disinfectants, lung ventilators, and other similar products from Russia was prohibited. As in Belgium, at the same time, there was a shortage of personal protection equipment. However, now Russian manufacturers boosted the output of those products of high quality. Russian supplies already meet the interior demand, so we are going to offer protection equipment and high-tech tests for antigens of coronavirus on the European market in the near future. And it is understood that these products and equipment will be certified according to the EU standards, of course. Here are briefly the results of the year of the year 2019 and beginning of this year.
I will continue then, Arkady. Thank you very much, Anatoly Ivanovich. But as you mentioned, last year, few Russian delegation visits Belgium and Luxembourg, and our Chamber of Commerce co-organized with the trade representative, a few of them in Belgium, in Luxembourg, in Liège, etc. And we have a question: what are the prospects for exporting Russian non-commodities company to Belgium and Luxembourg? How we can together help Russian companies to increase their export? What need to be strengthened and improved in our future joint activities?
Mhm.
Can I add something, please? You have mentioned the visit of Mr. Morozov, governor of Ulyanovsk, and also of Mr. Lubimov, the governor of Riza. We have excellent contact with this person. They are personal friends with Mr. Morozov. It was a pleasure to organize, and Oleg was present to the mission in Ulyanovsk, a veritable success for the Belgian companies. But also, Oleg organized 1 year and a half ago mission to Ryazan, also very interesting. Mm-hmm. It's very good contact. But for me, just for the question to add, it's how important are you to the relationship between all Belgian-Luxembourg chambers of commerce based in Brussels, like in Moscow, and your commercial representation?
Okay, of course, our main aim is to promote the development of non-commodity exports from Russia to Belgium and Luxembourg. But not only, we also provide assistance in attracting investment in the Russian economy and import high technology and high-tech products in order to modernize the Russian economy and increase the competitiveness of Russian products in the global market. And I'm pleased to say that your chamber, both branches in Brussels and Moscow, provide excellent support in this matter through organizing of joint business missions, different information events, and give us valuable recommendations on the promotion of different goods on the Belgian and Luxembourgish markets. What assistance or other that I have already mentioned can we provide to the business? At this stage, it is important to be aware of the general economic situation in Russia and trends on its different markets. Obviously, industries will gradually recover. Forecasts for at least for 2021 are moderately optimistic. In this regard, I notice an excellent initiative of the Belgian-Luxembourg Chamber of Commerce to organize on the 10th of June an online roundtable prospects of the Russian economy, together with the Moscow Higher School of Economics. It's a great idea, indeed. In general, Russia is interested in cooperation in such areas as pharmaceuticals, computer technologies, biotechnologies, nano and microelectronics, mechanical engineering, transport and logistics, technology for processing waste, and of course in maintaining high level of cooperation in the traditional areas as chemistry, diamond industry, metallurgy, logistics, and financial services. Increasing non-commodity exports it's of key importance for us, as I said already. At the same time, attracting competences in the top requested sphere is not less significant. In logistics, it could be creation of multimodal transport and logistical hubs in Russian regions. In research and development, setting up of centers for valorization of scientific researchers, so-called technology transfer centers. In metallurgy, cooperation in advanced method of engineering process, smart city technologies, space exploration, and many others. The traditional assistance to the exporters is the search for partners, but not only trading partners. The challenge is to look for opportunities for production partnerships when Russian companies could become contract manufacturers for Belgian and Luxembourg partners in producing raw or intermediate materials for their production, for example. For us, I think it's time to build joint plans for post-isolation period already, with future business missions and support activities for business at the exhibitions and other professional events in Russia as well as in Belgium and Luxembourg. I believe, of course, that the Chamber and its members will be actively involved in preparation of the coming session of the Mixed Commission on Economic Cooperation between Russia and Belgian-Luxembourg Economic Union, which I'm sure will take place this year as soon as the sanitary situation allows.
Thank you, Anatoly Ivanovich. As you speak about the business mission, about our future activity, and as we receive many requests every day from Belgium, Luxembourg company, which wish, of course, to continue to see personally is interparts in Russia and from Russian company, which is also working with Belgium. Maybe do you have any insight information about the restoration of the traffic, air traffic for entrepreneurs from Russia and Belgium and Luxembourg, which business visa with touristic purpose between our countries?
Well, you know, I would say that Aeroflot is ready to relaunch flights to Brussels as quickly as tomorrow. However, Aeroflot couldn't take such a decision on his own. They will be able to resume the operations only after permissions of the at least three entities. I mean, the European Commission, Belgian and Russian authorities. As you know, air boundaries between the EU countries should be open from the 15th of June. But so far, the European Commission has not elaborated any recommendation regarding countries outside the EU, and in particular, Russia, yet. The Russian authorities have not uplifted the ban on international flights except for repatriation flights either. Well, the epidemiological situation develops in a very positive way. And as the experts say, notwithstanding with the latest information about the 15th of July, experts say chances are high that flights will be resumed at the end of July. And I would say it's best assumption so far.
Okay, thank you very much. Arkady.
We have also an important moment between the relations with Belgium, Luxembourg and Russia with the mixed commission. Have you some news about this? Because we have many suggestions of collaboration, of course, in this mixed commission.
Yeah, there was an agreement about the 9th of July, but recently the Luxembourgish party, which is the organizer of this event, notified to Russian authorities that according to the sanitary situation, they deplore the necessity to postpone again the commission. So it will be decided lately by the three parties. No precise news about the date so far.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oleg, please.
But I would like to thank Anatoly Ivanovich to join us, to join our web daily forum in our web lounge. And thank you, Arkady, very much. Then I hope we will meet very soon, personally, without web camera, with the front of us. Thank you very much, Anatoly.
Thank you, dear colleagues. Thank you for bringing all your professionalism, time, and energy to the economic cooperation between our countries. Thank you so much.
Спасибо.
Thank you. Hope to see you soon. До скорой встречи.
До скорой встречи.